Hey there, Charlani here, and thanks for tuning in to Charlani TV. This project is something that I have wanted to do for what seems like forever, so I decided to make time and get it done. So I'm going to show you how I transformed my spice jars. I'm not even kidding, it is giving me all the life, all the joy, all the happiness right now. Every time I walk into my kitchen and I see them, I'm like, I should have done this such a long time ago. So I'm gonna show you how I transformed all of our spices from this, which I mean isn't totally terrible, but if you wanna know how I go from all of this into this, I mean, can you even? Then keep on watching. So I have to give credit to my daughter because Kaylee actually found these mini jars. They are basically little tiny mason jars. They're absolutely adorable and I love them. And then I got just the spice covers. I got them on Amazon. I will link all of this down below for you. And then these are the labels that I used. Again, ordered everything online. It took about a week to get everything in. But once I had it all, I was so ready to go. Hi, Kai. And I started with getting all of my labels situated and printed off. And my thought is that I would get the labels printed off first. So I just grabbed the rack and I actually brought it into my office so I could just sit there and kind of plug away and create the labels that I wanted. I've shared before that I love Canva. I make basically all of the graphics that I make for all the things I make here in Canva. So I created these labels. I had a little bit of an idea of what I wanted and then I just kind of went in and played around with things. I loved what we came up with. And for here, we actually went in and I just like adjusted the fonts to kind of reflect whatever that spice was. Like Trader Joe's, are you kidding me? Super, super cool. Now, I have no doubt that there is an easier way to do this, but this is how I got it done. I literally created the graphic. I made it a picture. I saved it to like a picture folder. And then I inserted the pictures onto the labels as images. I had a very specific idea of what I wanted my labels to look like, and I just wasn't able to do that and use the fonts that were in Word to create it. So making a picture just made more sense to me, and it was actually really easy. So I inserted the picture, and then I formatted the picture, and I was able to position, and I did text wrapping. For some reason, when I clicked that one, it then allowed me to move the actual image within that label and kind of center it manually. And so that's what I did for all the rest of the labels. It was actually really simple. I really just got into a groove of adding the pictures on and then formatting the picture, moving it around. It really was, once I kind of got into it, it was a really simple process. And I just love the way that it all ended up looking. It was exactly what I wanted. And it was also fun that I was able to kind of play around with the different fonts. I wouldn't have been able to do that, or at least I couldn't figure out how to do that if I just used the Word fonts and all that good stuff. But like I said, there's, I'm sure, an easier way to get that done. But this worked for me, and I was able to create the labels that looked exactly like I wanted them to look. So, OMG, love, 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 love. Absolutely love the way that these turned out. And I just went and grabbed the second rack and did exactly the same thing. I honestly couldn't have been happier with how these ended up turning out. They were exactly as I had envisioned them. The actual spices are written in Farmhouse script, and the 100% natural, the Live Life Happy, that is in Poppins Light font. I'll go ahead and I'll actually write in the caption. I'll write what these fonts are, so if ever you want to use them, you absolutely can. But like the Mrs. Dash, I used Good Vibes. The Tutu's Pantry is Aramo and Avatime. And then I did Trader Joe's, and that is Alitide fonts. But so happy with how all of these came out. And I tried to match the font to what their actual font looked like. I think I did pretty good, actually. This was so much fun to do. Rob creates his own spice blends from herbs that he grows from the garden, so he definitely needed his own little jars for sure. So now it's time to put everything together. Now, these are the lids that I got. I got them on Amazon, and obviously you can see that there's that bigger pour side, and then there's obviously the one where you just sprinkle a little bit on. I took a minute to get my station kind of all set up. I had already washed all of our jars. I just put them back in the boxes for storage when I was waiting for all the other pieces to arrive, and then just dove in and got started. So I started using this funnel. It was a funnel that I had, and lots of the spices worked just fine with that, but some of them were a little bit more difficult to kind of get through. The size of the actual spout part was really small, and I had to really pat it down and kind of bang it up against the glass, and I didn't like having to do that. But listen, when you're doing projects that you've never done before, you kind of learn as you go, right? And this is me here kind of going, okay, hold on a second. There has to be an easier way to do this. What can I use? And so I ended up grabbing the boxes, and I just put it in half, and I ended up cutting to make it kind of look like an arrow. This was gold, and this is what I ended up using for the whole rest of the time, because it almost made it like a little bit of a slide, and you could very easily get the spices in there. I was super proud of myself for creating this little thing, because it really did work perfect. Some spices were much easier to add in and transfer over, but some took a little bit of kind of unpacking, if you will. But all in all, it was a very simple process. And the colors, I mean, just how pretty are those? They just look so gorgeous. Each of the lids comes with a fresh seal, so I ended up taking all of those off so that I could, obviously, if I wanted to use them, I just had to shake it out. They were all ready to go. But I will keep some of them just in case I am traveling or anything like that. Then I can put those in, and it'll keep it a little bit cleaner in that top cover. All right, now it's time to add in the labels. I found the process of putting the labels on pretty simple. I am a little bit of a perfectionist, I guess you can say, and I wanted to make sure that all of the labels were super straight, but it was really easy to reposition them if I needed to. I really like the clean look of the white label with the black tops. Those tops are actually available in different colors. I just like the black. I think it looked classy, and I think it really streamlined what the bottles together look like. This project all together probably took about an hour and a half from start to end. I think most of that time was spent creating those labels, but absolutely worth it. Love the way that all of these spices came out. I just think that the look itself is just super pretty. So Rob has his own spices that he makes, like I said earlier, and some of the spices were a little bit like packed in there. So I just took a chopstick and kind of loosened up everything at the bottom, and then I was able to just pour it in there. And that's what I did for some of those spices that were a little bit more stubborn coming out. But it wasn't a big deal. Just unpack it just a little bit and then they all slid right out. And I made Rob his own little labels. I thought they were so cute. His sweet pepper blend is like the favorite. And I made his own little labels and his other, so he has a YouTube channel called Rob Backyard Gardener, and he uses these spices. He makes them from what he grows in his backyard. So I gave him his own special little label for it. I thought it looked really cute. So I'm gonna link everything down below for you, but just a heads up, the mason jars, you can actually get them at Target. You probably can get them at Walmart for a lot less expensive is what you would pay for on Amazon. But if you're looking for convenience, all of this stuff you can definitely get on Amazon and just have it shipped to your door so that you don't have to go out and brave the stores out there. I grouped the jars together just based on what I used the most, like those were kind of up at the top, and just made sure that the spacing was right, because obviously if you're going to spend this much time doing something, you want it to look perfect. And then I put them back and I love the way that they came out. This was definitely a project that was worth spending the time on. I just think the colors are so pretty and it looks so natural. And if you like visual things like this, then absolutely I highly suggest doing it for sure. I'm so in love with the uniform look of everything, and definitely one of my favorite things that I have done project-wise for sure. So I hope you liked the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you are not subscribed to Charlani TV, I would love it if you did. Have a great day.